For this concept diagram, I did the low birth weights and the factors that are affecting the weights of babies when they are born. So the factors are biological, culture, environment, and socioeconomic status. Socioeconomic status will tie into the three previous ones throughout the discussion of the concept diagram. So for biological factors, the age of the mother is a big determinant in the birth weight of the baby. Women that are younger are less likely to get the proper prenatal care and are in more difficult working conditions. So they are unable to take time off work to see a doctor, which is causing lower birth weights. Another issue is women's dietary behavior, which ties into socioeconomic status. Women that are of lower SES are unable to afford the healthier foods that they need to be eating while they are pregnant, so they just eat the same as if they were not pregnant, which is causing babies to not get the proper nutrients, so they are having lower birth weights. So for cultural factor, different cultures have many different practices that they believe that women should be doing while they are pregnant to have certain outcomes that they are looking forward to in a baby. And one of these, for example, will be from southern India. They are wanting to have children of lighter skin, so they will eat foods that are typically white and yellow. This can come to an issue for them because they are just eating foods based off of color, not based off of what is best for the baby and what is the most nutritional for the fetus. So they are having babies of lower birth weights because of it. And another common theme for women is they want to have smaller babies to avoid the major pains that come with giving birth. So they eat less during a pregnancy so that the baby's smaller. And obviously this is causing babies to be born smaller, which is not very good because whenever you look at a environment or a culture and you are seeing signs of growth within them, or you're trying to determine the health of the society, you look for signs of growth. So when a society has smaller babies, that can lead to smaller adults, which then can have stunted growth, and this is a sign of poor health and why women who have been stunted in their growth are having smaller babies. So whenever we are looking at a society, we look for these things to determine the health of it, and these are proving that these societies are of lower socioeconomic status. So moving on to environment. A fetus is totally dependent on its mother, so the health of the mother is compromised when the fetus does not have the best health, which can lead to lower birth rates. This can be from the environment that the mother lives in or the socioeconomic status, which causes stress on her life. So the environment, going back to looking at the growth of a society, it will show their poverty, their unemployment, and their overall health. So whenever we're looking at the society and the environment that the mother is living in, we're able to determine if she's able to get the proper nutrients to feed the baby while she's pregnant, if she's able to see doctors properly, and this can determine the weight and the size of her baby. So typically if a mother is smaller, then the baby is going to be smaller, which is determined by the area that she is living in. So moving on to socioeconomic status, which biological, culture, and environment all tie back into socioeconomic status, because when we are looking at the biological factors of a woman when she's pregnant, we're also looking at the environment that she's living in to determine if she's able to get the right food, if she's able to get the right nutrients for the baby, and we're also looking at her culture and what her culture is telling her to do, which all of these stem from the socioeconomic status, because if you are from a socioeconomic status that is higher, so you're from a wealthier status, you are able to have access to doctors that will tell you the proper things that you need to be doing during pregnancy. And women that come from lower socioeconomic statuses don't get to the doctors the way they should be. So lower birth rates are based off of the SES of the mother. So when lower birth weights, it derives from the mother's maternal undernutrition during pregnancy or high levels of maternal stress. So these issues usually present themselves in an individual that comes from lower SES due to having a lower income, so the nutrition of the mother is poor, and high amounts of stress usually comes from issues of money or other life issues that individuals of higher SES usually don't have to experience and they don't have to worry about because they have the means to take care of the baby, they have the means to take care of themselves, so they're not as stressed as someone from a lower SES. And populations that have birth weights that are higher are from wealthier countries, and the lower birth rates are usually from countries that are of lower SES. Specifically, our book talks about how they are coming from South Asian countries.